Welcome to an overview of the Master Syllabus template. There are two templates. One is for face-to-face courses. It can also be used for face-to-face courses that have some materials available online through D2L. The other one is for online and or hybrid courses that are using D2L quite intensively. There are a lot of similarities. I'll just show one syllabus template. The other one will have information that is more specific to this course modality. Okay, whenever you see a gray area, that is for you to personalize. Same whenever you see a box, that is for you to add information. The first area of the syllabus is this gray box where you can provide information about the faculty member or members teaching the course, the various roles that they have, images if you'd like, and then basic information and contact. The course modality talks about how the course is delivered. Once again, notice that if you're considering using this syllabus for a hybrid course, you would want to mention a little bit more information. Office hours are explained here. Next, because the syllabus is quite long, you can see here 10 pages, there is a lot of information to cover. There is this interactive menu that is meant to allow you to jump to areas of interest in the syllabus. So, for instance, if you wanted to see what is the grade distribution, you could jump to grades, get that information, and then jump back to the top. Okay. So now let's go piece by piece and look at the syllabus. The footer allows you to personalize the syllabus with information about your course, prefix number, and title. Next, there is a place for course information, followed by grading. Grading starts with an overall view of how grades are broken down, and then a more detailed view where you could list every single grading assignment. For assignment description, there is a pattern here followed by an example of how you could enact that pattern. Next category has to do with things that students must have for this course, whether those are knowledge and skills or things that they have to own, things that they have to buy, a textbook or a course back. After that comes the schedule. There is a pattern followed by an example. Policies, again, is a very bulky section of the syllabus, and for that reason it has its own menu, making it easy for you to jump in and out of policies. So, for instance, if you wanted to see the communication policy, you would click here. It takes you to the policy and any sub-policies. And then you can jump back to the policy menu by clicking this inside arrow as opposed to the outside arrow, which takes you all the way to the top. Policies have to do with attendance, what to do in case of an emergency, how to audit the course, anything and everything about communication in this course. And now let's have a look at the grading policy. This is where you can tell students about how you assign grades, what criteria you use, how you handle late work, if you accept makeup, under what circumstances. And there is a little footnote here that talks about legitimate reasons for missing class. You're welcome to keep that. Whenever you're looking to cut something out, for instance, perhaps you don't have grading criteria, if you take that out, let's look for one of the symbols for pieces that can be taken out. Here we go. Whenever you see one of those symbols, it represents an area that people are likely to take out, and if you do take it out, you just have to remember to renumber your policies. So what is now 3 will become 2 in this list as well as in the menu. Or granted, you could just take the numbers out of the menu and then if you were to remove one of the policies, you wouldn't have to renumber all the other ones. Okay. Next, come policies that are important for students to be aware of, such as academic appeals, grievance, honesty. There's some information here about how to avoid plagiarism, information about the use of copyrighted materials, the policy on receiving accommodations for students with disabilities. This topic is approached again under the umbrella of support services, where we tell students how they can receive those services. Other services mentioned here include technical support, so whenever you have issues with desire to learn or your email or what have you, this is a good number to call. And for brevity, I did not have an exhaustive list of services and resources. That is something that could be added to a student resources module inside a D2L course. I'll be more than happy to provide that for you if you are interested. Just leave me a comment to this blog post or send me an email, call me, whatever works. The disclaimer basically tells students that the instructor may need to change the syllabus throughout the semester, but will provide that information, will provide notice of that ahead of time. And then the footnotes have that fine print for absences and prerequisite skills that we expect students to have to succeed in the course. That concludes the overview of the online template. The face-to-face template is basically identical, except that there are some areas that I felt that perhaps you may or may not need, such as a questions and answers form. You may or may not choose to adopt that for a face-to-face course. A news form in D2L, you may or may not need that. D2L policy, you may not use D2L at all, so that would come out. Otherwise, everything is pretty much identical. I hope this overview was helpful. If you have any questions or suggestions, I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.